Let's not lie. Women are not asking for a lot. They're asking for consistency, kindness, and a man who knows how to reply a text with sense. But somehow, that still feels like asking for a miracle. The truth is, women aren't hard to love. They're just tired of being loved halfway. Tired of men who say all the right things but disappear when it's time to show up. So let's clear the air. This is not about money or muscles. It's about energy, presence, intention. Women remember how you made them feel, not how obvious you were about loving them. So here it is, 10 types of men who don't just get attention, they get remembered. The kind women want when everyone else starts sounding the same. Ready? Let's go. The type that gives peace, not confusion. Every woman has, at some point, dealt with a man who made her question everything, even her decision to reply to that first message. He came with mixed signals, sweet words today and silence tomorrow. One minute, he's planning your future together. The next, he's unavailable for days. That kind of emotional roller coaster. But the man who gives peace, he's a rare breed. He doesn't leave you overthinking every text. He doesn't make you decode hidden meanings behind every emoji. His intentions are clear, his words are honest, and his actions back them up. You don't have to guess if he cares, he shows it. Peace isn't boring. It's knowing where you stand. It's being with someone who doesn't turn your heart into a battlefield. Women don't want emotional puzzles. They want someone who brings calm into their chaos, someone who adds stability, not storms. When a man provides that peace, he becomes unforgettable. The one who listens without waiting for his turn to speak. Listening, it sounds simple, but so few people truly do it. When a woman says, "I had a bad day," she's not always asking for a solution. Sometimes she just wants to be heard. She wants someone who can sit in her storm without making it about themselves. Too often, conversations become competitions. She opens up and the response is, "Same here, I'm tired too." Or worse, "You think that's bad? Listen to what I went through." That's not empathy, that's ego, and it kills connection. The man who listens deeply, who allows. In a world full of noise, be the man who listens. Because when she feels heard, she feels loved. And when she feels loved, she falls hard. 3. The one who knows how to handle no like an adult. Here's the truth. No is not a personal attack. It's not rejection, it's not disrespect, and it's definitely not an invitation to argue. When a woman says she's not in the mood to come over, she's not playing games. She's honoring her own needs in that moment. And the way a man responds to that no reveals everything. Women fall in love with men who respect their boundaries, not with ones who take everything personally. If a simple "not today" sends you into a spiral of guilt-tripping, passive-aggressive silence or angry texts, then maybe you're not ready for love. You might still need to heal. A real man doesn't crumble when things don't go his way. He doesn't throw a tantrum when she sets a limit. Instead, he listens. He accepts. He supports, because he knows that no today doesn't mean never. It just means she's human, with her own space, her own needs, her own pace. And that's okay. 4. The type that's funny without being a walking embarrassment. Let's be honest, humor is attractive. A man who can make you laugh until your stomach hurts, that's magic. But there's a difference between being funny and being a full-time clown. Not every moment needs to be a viral TikTok moment. Not every outing is an audition for stand-up comedy. Women fall for men who have natural charm, not those who force jokes at inappropriate times. A little sarcasm can be fun, but when every sentence is laced with mockery or just kidding, it gets tiring, fast. Real humor is about timing. It's about reading the room. It's knowing when to crack a joke and when to just be present. It's the kind of laughter that brings you closer, not the kind that makes you cringe in public. So yes, be funny, but also be real. Because the guy who makes her laugh without making her feel secondhand embarrassment, he's the one she'll think about long after the jokes are over. 5. The kind that shows up, not the one that always explains why he couldn't. In the end, it's not the grand gestures that win hearts. It's the small, consistent acts that whisper, "You matter." You said you'd call, and you did. You remembered she had a tough week, and you checked in. You weren't just around when it was convenient. You showed up even when it wasn't easy. Women notice that. Not the flashy promises, but the quiet presence, the effort, the follow-through. Meanwhile, some men come with full PowerPoint presentations on why they couldn't show up. Traffic, stress, forgot, something came up. They always have a reason, but never results. Eventually, the apologies start to sound like background noise. Here's the truth. Real love doesn't need perfect words. It needs real action. A man who's present without being begged for attention, who makes her feel like a priority, not an option, that man stands out. Because in a world full of "sorry I couldn't make it," the one who actually makes it, that's the one she'll never want to let go. 6. The type that actually likes women, not just the ones he wants to date. This one is major. Respecting women isn't just about opening doors for the girl you like. It's about how you treat all women, even the ones who have nothing to offer you romantically. If your kindness only shows up when there's a chance of getting her number, that's not admiration, it's manipulation. Women don't fall for men who play the game. They fall for men who have integrity, the ones who treat the janitor and the CEO with the same basic respect, the ones who defend a woman being mistreated, even when she's a stranger. When a man genuinely values women, not just the ones he's attracted to, he becomes someone rare, someone safe, someone trustworthy. Because if your character shifts depending on who's watching or who you're talking to, she'll notice, and no matter how charming you are, she won't fall for a performance. But the guy who treats every woman with dignity, regardless of looks or labels, he's not just a good guy. He's the kind of man women fight to keep. 7. The calm one. Not the one that enters arguments like it's sport. Some men treat every conversation like a courtroom, always ready to object, argue, and prove they're right, even if it means making the woman they love feel small. If your first instinct during conflict is to raise your voice, mock her feelings, or interrupt just to win, then you're not solving problems, you're creating them. Women fall in love with men who bring calm, not chaos, who respond, not react, who understand that not every disagreement is a war to win. Sometimes it's just a moment that needs understanding, not dominance. You don't always need the last word. You don't always have to be right. And if your version of peace only exists when you've put her in her place, then that's not peace. That's control dressed up as logic. The man who can take a breath, listen, and still hold space for love even when emotions are high, that's the one who feels safe. That's the one she'll turn to when life gets loud, because she knows he won't make it louder. 8. The one that supports, not the one that watches. She told you about her idea. She shared her dream. She lit up as she explained what she wants to do. And your first reaction was doubt? You hit her with, "You sure that'll work?" Or, "Is that even realistic?" And in that moment, something inside her quietly closed. Women fall deeply for the man who says, "I don't fully get it, but I've got your back." The one who shows up at her small event. The one who shares her link. The one who says, "You're amazing for even trying this." You don't have to fund the dream. You don't have to fix it. You just have to believe in her enough not to stand in her way. And, better yet, to stand beside her. Because when everything else feels uncertain, she'll remember who clapped for her when nobody else did. She'll remember the one who didn't just watch from the sidelines, but supported her like her wins were his too. That kind of support, that's unforgettable. That's rare. That's love. And finally, before someone says you're doing too much, let's just keep it real. Women don't fall in love because you have a car, a six-pack, or a shiny watch. Those things might get a glance, but they don't build connection. They don't inspire loyalty. They don't create the kind of love that lasts through hard days. You want real love? Be the kind of man who brings peace, listens well, respects boundaries, and supports without ego. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because that's just who you are. No shades, just truth.